Welcome to everyone who is just joining us for our nice restorative flow today. As I just mentioned, you'll want to have 2 yoga blocks or just some chunky books about the same size for today's practice. And you'll want to have a pillow just to make it a little more supported if that's something that you would like. As always, if anyone has any injuries, any physical concerns, you can always send me a private message letting me know. And it is 5, so let's go ahead and get underway. Let's start on our backs today. So if you want, you can take your pillow underneath your head, or you can just bring it straight down onto the mat. Alright, so we're coming onto the back. You can do whatever feels good with your legs. This could be your knees bent, your knees together, which can help open up through the lower back. This could be legs straight, or maybe soles of the feet together. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest. Close your eyes and close your mouth. If it's available to you, begin to breathe in and out of your nose. We're just going to use the first few moments to ground down into our bodies, into the present moment. Begin to observe your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Observe what your breath sounds like right now in this unique space and time. Notice what your breath feels like. Where in the body do you experience movement as you breathe? If your mind starts to worry or wander, try to bring it back to the breath. Notice if there are any particular stories going on in your mind right now. And bring your attention to your body. Notice how your physical body is feeling today. Take a moment to acknowledge how you're feeling. This could be physical, this could be emotional, mental. And then just observe where your body is in contact with the floor beneath you. And what can you feel against your body, supporting you, grounding you? And if it's available to you, begin to draw your breath down into your belly, making it just a little bit deeper here. Let's try for a 4-second inhale and a 4-second exhale. Each inhale is a little deeper than the one before it. And the exhale is slow, controlled, and steady. And if it feels available to you, try to lengthen your exhale, making the exhale 6 seconds long. Remember, as we elongate the exhale, we start to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, helping the body to rest and restore itself. And if it feels available, try for 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Notice the movement of your rib cage. And finally, if you feel ready, try for 6 seconds in and 8 seconds out. Try and keep your attention on what it feels like simply to breathe into your body. Notice the movement you feel in your abdomen, movement you feel through the rib cage. The movement you feel through your chest. And then on your next exhale, wherever that is, let's open the mouth and sigh it out. Lovely. On your next inhale, let's open the eyes. And let's bring the feet underneath the knees here for this one. If you're not already in this position, try to stamp your low back down to the floor so that low belly draws in. Hands come down by your hips. We're going to warm up through our wrists. So keep your forearm down on the mat, and all we're going to do is flex our fingers back towards the wrist and towards that forearm. Let's do 4 more of these. And play with spreading your fingers, play with drawing your fingers together. Come to the end range of the joint. So you're not just making the movement, you're making the fullest expression of the movement to the point where maybe it's even a little bit shaky. And we're doing this with both hands, by the way. Notice one hand may be easier to control than the other. Nice, I think we did more than 4, but that's fine. And then we'll just give it a nice little shake. Woo. Nice, and then we're going to flip the palms up, and we're going to do the same thing, but keeping the palms up, and we're going to draw the fingers in towards the inner wrist. Try to keep the base of the wrist down, and we're just going to do a few of these. I had 5 in my mind, but if you do a little bit more than 5, that's not a big deal. Again, come to the end range. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, if you're furrowing your brow, if you spent a lot of time on a computer or writing or texting today. It's a nice little thing to do for the wrists. We're starting to cultivate mobility and strength here. I'm already feeling warm just from doing this, which is pretty gnarly. Oof. All right, and then give it a little shake wherever you are. Nice. All right, we're going to take a little rock and roll. If that doesn't feel good on your spine, just come to a seat. So we're going to grab behind the thighs. Exhale, you're going to rock up. Inhale, you're going to rock down a few times, massaging through the back of the body. And maybe even close your eyes if that's available. Try to slow down the movement so it's really controlled. And then we're going to meet in a comfortable seated position. Now, any seat will do here, doesn't matter to me at all. I'm just gonna sit on my pillow between my bum and my heels because that's my favorite. But again, doesn't matter the seat, we're going to get into the shoulders. So have a block or a book to hand, doesn't matter which. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the thighs. Let's lift and lower the shoulders. And if it's possible, close your eyes. And try to find the full range of your shoulder girdle movement. So we're lifting, but we're also rolling the shoulders forward and back. So you can feel your shoulder blades gliding across your back rib cage here. And then we'll go the other way. Slow it down to the point where it's almost a little shaky. And when we have those little shaky movements, that's where the neural map, that motor cortex, is a little bit fuzzy because the brain isn't used to doing these kinds of movements. And so that area devoted to movement in the brain is just a little bit underdeveloped. So we're helping to stimulate that brain and body connection. Oof, nice. And then just give it a nice little shake, a little shimmy. Nice. And then we're gonna grab our block here. And I'm just gonna show you my profile. Bring your block between your palms. And all we're gonna do is we're going to move the block away from us. So we're pushing away. You may feel the shoulder blades move apart. And then we're gonna draw the block closer by squeezing the shoulders together. Do a few of these movements and notice if you're kind of bringing your spine into it. Keep the abdominals engaged just enough so that it's just the shoulders moving. Now this movement not only starts to strengthen the shoulder girdle muscles, but it will also start to alleviate certain kinds of neck tension or even pain by strengthening this area. You may feel a little heat. Doesn't look like much, but can feel like quite a lot. Ooh, nice. And then come out of that movement. Let's come onto all fours. Hands under the shoulders, or maybe slightly forward or a little wider, just whatever feels good for you. Shoulders is just a starting point. Firm through the low belly, and all I mean by that is instead of your bum kind of pooching up, you're gently drawing that belly up and in, and your low ribs move together. Let's spread the fingers, push into your hands, and very gently tug your hands into each other. So you feel a little energy, a little activation between the hands. Keeping that activation of the hands, that little bit of heat, let's start to circle the hips and the shoulders. And you'll notice that your arms may start to fatigue before anything else if you're keeping that engagement. And it may feel good to close your eyes here as well. Let's move the other way. Keep breathing steadily down into your belly. Keep pushing into each fingertip and just gently pulling the hands towards one another. Oof, nice. And then we'll meet in neutral. We're going to bring the left hand in there's a few options here. So option number one, probably the most gentle, is to your low back. Number two would be to your shoulders, and then maybe the most intense would be behind your head. Just choose the variation that works for you. Let's take an exhale and lift that elbow a little higher. And as you inhale, let's tap the elbows together. Exhale, let's lift and twist. Inhale, lower. Keep that low belly slightly engaged. Last one, exhale, lift, stay lifted. Let's reach the left arm high. And we're gonna slowly just move that arm forward and back. And play with turning your shoulder in and out. So your whole arm will move. Just give it a little play here. Just starting to release some shoulder tension, which becomes neck tension. Oof, nice. And then let's reach that arm up high, inhale. Exhale, thread your left arm under your right, lower down to your left ear. Reach your right arm away from you. If this is a bit aggressive, you have your pillow, you can always lower onto your pillow instead of straight to the floor. That will be much softer. And if you wanted that little extra oomph here, you're feeling a little bit riled up, not riled up, but you just want that extra little step, you could reach your right arm up to the ceiling. So that's just gonna give it a little extra heat. Do the variation that feels good with how you're feeling today, physically, emotionally, mentally. Nice, let's take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly make your way back into your neutral tabletop. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bring your right hand either to your low back, to your right shoulder, or to the base of the skull. Exhale, lift the elbow high. Inhale, tap your arms together. Exhale, lift and twist, big rotation. Inhale, lower and tap. Just one more. Exhale, lift it up nice and high. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling, and let's find those movements of the arm forward and back. You can keep it simple, or maybe you play with turning the arm in and out a little bit here. So we're just adding a little extra feedback to the brain about the shoulder, and we're also just getting the shoulder to experiment with different positions. Ooh. Nice. And then when you're ready, let's bring that right arm high. Inhale. Exhale, thread the right arm under the left, lower down to the floor or to a pillow, and extend your left arm away. Your bum is roughly stacked over your knees, so the hips are fairly high. If you want it just a little bit hotter, you could try lifting that left arm up to the ceiling, but make sure this doesn't cause any stress or strain through the neck or the shoulder. So we're just taking it to the level that feels appropriate for our bodies. Keep breathing into your belly, full deep nasal breaths. Let's take that deep inhale and exhale slowly. Let's bring that left arm down and meet in our neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes and lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees generously, lift those hips high. And if it feels good, you could try pedaling out through your legs, bending one leg at a time. Keep that breath nice and deep. Maybe give your head a little shake, no. A little shake, yes. Maybe bend your knees and just give your bum a little waggle side to side. And then let's all meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. So softly step forward to your hands and hang heavy over your thighs. Few options. You could grab opposite elbows. You could bring your hands behind the base of the skull, or you could just simply keep your hands down on the floor. Make sure your knees are still bent and your breath is still deep. Either find movement or stay still. Let's take a few more deep breaths here. Nice, and on your next exhale, let's softly bring the hands down. And as you inhale, we will roll up to stand. Chin is tucked to your chest. Head is very, very heavy. Making your way all the way up to stand. Nice. Whew. All right, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, let's grab some straps here. So, I did forget to mention it, so if you don't have a strap, that's okay. You could use a tea towel, you could use a belt, you could use a dog leash, you could use a scarf, you could use your own shirt. So get creative, get something that you can use. Reach your arms up and overhead. You're going to bring your hands a little bit wider than your own shoulders here. And then we're just going to floss our shoulders. So instead of moving the low part of the body, so I'm just using my spine to move my shoulders here, instead of using the spine in that way, I'm going to keep my lower body still and I'm going to bring my hands behind me and down. Now, if this is a bit too much, you just bring your hands a little wider. And if you want a little more, you bring your hands closer together. So this is some shoulder flossing. We did this on Tuesday as well. It's a really nice movement to start to engage and mobilize through the shoulders. Keep a gentle firmness through the low belly, even through the legs and your glutes. So everything is still except for your shoulders and arms. Woof, I'm feeling that. Let's just do one more. Nice. And then let's slowly, with care, bring those straps down. You could also do that without a strap. Just bring your arms around behind you. It's just going to be a little less intense, but still very manageable. And then grab one block, just one block or book to have at the front of your mat so you can grab it. It's within your reach. Let's come to the top of the mat, feet hip distance. Inhale, sweep your arms high, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward and down. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen. Gently firm through the low belly, tuck the chin. Exhale, fold. Let's step your right leg back and bring your knee to the floor or to a pillow. You know what, I'm gonna do my pillow because why the heck not, I've got it. And we're gonna come into a 90-90 lunge with our blocks. So let's take hold of that block. 90-90 lunge, left knee over left ankle, right knee under right hip. So we're making 90 degrees with the legs. Turn on through those right glutes and we're tucking through the tail. So instead of here, we're here. We're going to reach our arms in front of us with the block, and just like we did seated, we're going to push the block away and we're going to pull it in. So right now, we're moving the shoulder blades apart and we're pulling them together. This movement may be a bit unusual, maybe a bit tricky to get a hold of at first. Don't worry about that. That's why we're practicing. That's why we're here. Nice, just do one more, and then we're gonna let the block come overhead, lift the arms, bring your block behind your head, hug your elbows in, and very gently take it back into a little baby back bend, hug your elbows into your face and extend through the upper back. Inhale, we're gonna come up through center, arms forward, just one more shoulder girdle exercise. I'll actually take my sweater off so you can see my shoulder blades. I'm just gonna get closer so you can see my shoulder blades. So what you're gonna do is you're going to lift your shoulders up and then we're going to pull the shoulder blades together. We're going to draw the shoulders down and then we'll move them apart. So let's do that again. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, shoulders down. Inhale, push apart. Just one more. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, squeeze together. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push away. Nice. And then inhale, we're going to lift it up. I know that's a bit of a weird movement. Bring your block behind your head, back bend. Turn on through your glutes. Gently push your head back into your block. That's going to help activate the upper back. Elbows in, in, in. Inhale, come up through center, blocks high, and exhale, bring your block down to the floor. We're going to step back into a tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to move through cat-cow, but in a more circular rhythm here. So as you inhale, we're going to lower the belly, pull your hands back, and allow your shoulders to pull forward here. As you exhale, we're going to round, and we're going to push the hands away from the hips, and we're going to lean back a little bit. Inhale, we're going to drop the belly and pull ourselves forward. Exhale, we're going to round and push ourselves back. So we're just going to take a few of these. Once you get the hang of it, please move with your breath. You don't need to move with me or my body. Find a rhythm that feels good for you today. Try to coordinate your movements with your breath. Just do one more round here. Finish up wherever you're at. And then we'll meet in our neutral position. Step your knees back behind your hips just a little bit. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, we're going to do a half chaturanga to the belly. So you're just going to bend the elbows and come all the way down. Nice. Let's bring the elbows down underneath the shoulders for a Sphinx pose. Push the top of the feet down. Engage the glutes gently. Draw your hands back just like we did in our cow position. So as we pull the hands back, we're pulling the chest forward. And this is helping us bring the back bend a little higher into the upper and mid back. And if that doesn't translate right away, that's okay. It takes time to build that body awareness, but I promise it does come. If you're unlucky like me, it may just take 8 years, but if you're not unlucky, it may take much less. And then slowly lower it down. Let's slide into a child's pose. Any child's pose that feels good for you. And remember, you do have your books or blocks. You could always bring something under the head. Do make sure that the head is resting on something so that you can fully relax the shoulders and your neck. Let's take a deep inhale in. And as you exhale, we'll meet in our downward facing dog. Bend the knees, lengthen your spine. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee to the mat or to a pillow if you want to pamper yourself a little. Let's grab hold of our blocks. All right, we're going to practice this little funky shoulder movement again. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the shoulders up. Exhale, squeeze them together. Inhale, lower them down. Exhale, push apart. Inhale, you lift. Exhale, you squeeze. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push. Just one more. Over exaggerate. Make it big. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push. Inhale, lift the arms up. Block behind the head. Take it into a back bend. Your glutes are on. Elbows hug into the face. Maybe gaze to the ceiling. Nice. And then slowly, let's come back through center, arms forward. And we're just going to try and switch up that rhythm now. So let's go ahead. I always forget how I want to do this. Okay. I always forget. All right. I got it. Okay. So we're going to push them away. We're going to move the shoulder blades apart. Then we're going to lift them up. Then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to lower. This one always messes me up. All right, so we're going to do that again. So we're going to move them apart, push the block away. Inhale, let's lift it up. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then inhale, lower. Let's try that one more time. Let's see if we can do it. Push apart. Woo, push that block forward. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, squeeze together. Inhale, lower down. All right, we did it. Nice. Let's bring the block up. Just one more back bend here. Take your time. Keep breathing. Hug the elbows in. Make sure your left glutes are fired up. Nice. And then slowly come back through center. Let's lower the block down. And we're going to gently step forward. Find a forward fold. Hang heavy over your thighs. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. And it may feel good to even bring your feet as wide as your mat here. Be mindful that the knees aren't knocking in towards each other, but the knees are still roughly over your ankles. Inhale, let's slowly roll up to stand, chin tucked to the chest, head is heavy. And we'll meet standing. Nice. Well, I made you get those straps, so we're going to use them again. So whatever you use for your strap, we're going to take it. We're going to open up through the shoulders in a way we don't usually access in yoga, so I feel like it's important to do. So you're going to bring your strap behind your back, palms face forward. We did this on Tuesday as well, I think. Squeeze your shoulder blades together here. And it's very important your palms are facing forward so that you're drawing your shoulders back. So we're going to open through the front of the chest, and the arms are in that nice external rotation. Bring your feet hip distance, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your heart. Exhale, start to bend the knees and fold forward and down. Keep breathing deeply here, down into your belly. Relax your head as much as you can. And if you want to give a little movement side to side, that may feel really nice. Or maybe just staying still and focusing on drawing shoulder blades together feels good. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale softly. Bring your hands down to the floor. Inhale, let's lift up halfway and lengthen through the back of the body. Exhale, fold all the way down. Nice. We're going to step our left leg back to your pillow or just to the floor if that feels okay. And we're going to grab our blocks here as well. Inhale, let's lift up. You will want to block for this though. And then we're going to exhale, bring the block behind the head. Open your elbows out nice and wide. And then we're going to take a deep inhale with those left glutes fired up. And as you exhale, we're going to bend to the right. Inhale, come up through center. And exhale, bend. Let's just do a few more of these. Inhale, you're going to lift. Exhale, you're going to find a nice little side bend. Keep drawing the elbows open. So the elbows will want to kind of come into the face. So keep them widening. Let's just do one more each side. Remember, you can move with your body, with your breath. You don't need to move with me and my breath. And then we're going to meet in a neutral, shoulders over hips. Bring your block into your left hand. We're going to bring your block to the floor next to that left leg. Now, if that's still too low, you got your other block, I hope, so you could even bring it higher if you need it higher. Get creative. So we're going to have the left hand down on the block. Reach your right arm high, and as you exhale, we're going to bend to the left and look up to the right. I'm just going to scooch over just a little, make sure my hand is still in the frame. Let's bring your right hand behind your head. Open the elbow up. Take an inhale in. As you exhale, we're going to turn down and face the floor. Inhale, we're going to lift up. Lift your elbow to the ceiling, maybe gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, lower down. Keep a gentle engagement through the left glute. Just one more. Inhale, let's lift. Reach your right arm high. Reach your right arm to the left side, big side bend. And then inhale, let's lift all the way up, both hands high. Exhale, bring your hands down. You can move your props out of the way. We'll step back into our tabletop position. So we're going to try to do these little shoulder blade movements here in a table position. So hands under the shoulders and firm through the low belly. Again, instead of moving just through, the whole back moving, it's just those shoulder blades. So, or the muscles around the shoulder blades. So first, all we're going to do is just push the floor away and round the upper back. And then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together without dumping the belly down. And let's just do a few of those. So we're pushing away, squeezing together, pushing away. This is a really great movement to do for the health of the shoulders. It can feel really tricky at first. And if it is a little bit of a challenge, that's a good thing. That means your brain needed a little bit of that. Whew, let's just do one more here. Nice. And then we're going to gently firm through the low belly. Bring your hands in front of your shoulders. Take an inhale. And with that subtle engagement, exhale, we're going to start to lower into a child's pose, but a very controlled descent here. And come all the way down. Now it may feel good here to flip your palms up to the ceiling, or just the thumbs up may feel good as well. And let's just take a few stable breaths into the belly. Feel free to soften through the shoulders, through the muscles of the face. Take a deep inhale in. And as you exhale, let's slowly lift up to our downward facing dog. Hips lift nice and high. Bend your knees and lengthen your spine. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, left foot forward. And your right knee comes down to the floor or a pillow. Let's grab your block, reach it up high. Bring your block behind your head. Open the elbows, and you're just very gently moving your head back into that block. Exhale, we're going to bend to the left. Keep those glutes on. And inhale, you're gonna lift. Exhale, you're gonna bend. Let's take a few of these here on your own. I'm doing 3 on each side, but if you want to do a little more or a little less, absolutely do that. Just move in a way that feels good for your body. We're not forcing it to that end range. We're not making it the deepest pose ever. Just finding that good sensation. Finish up both sides so you're balanced, and then we'll meet in neutral. You're going to bring your block into your right hand, and you're going to bring your block down to the right side. Reach your left arm high, and as you exhale, bend towards that right side. We're looking for a nice tug through the left side of your body. Bring the left hand behind your head, reach the elbow high, and as you exhale, we're going to turn all the way down and face the floor. Inhale, you're going to lift up and lengthen. Exhale, you're going to lower and twist. Take your time, use the full breath. One more, inhale, let's lift. Lift your left arm up here as well. Reach your arm to the right side to intensify the stretch. Your left palm faces the floor. Inhale, let's lift all the way up, arms high. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Let's step forward. Find your forward fold. Excuse my cracking ankles. Nice, let's take a few deep breaths here. And again, it might feel good to bring your feet a bit wider. And I'll give the option here to try stepping onto your palms. Now if that sounds crazy, don't worry. But if you want to try, you could try bringing one hand under one foot. Just see how that feels. Maybe the other hand. And do make sure that you're stepping on the palm and not on your fingers. So you're bringing your toes to the wrist creases. This can be a nice little stretch for the wrists as well as for the back of the body. But if it doesn't feel good, give it a skip. We're not forcing anything here today. Take a few deep breaths down into your belly. Try and soften everything a little further. The head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, all heavy. Nice. And then very slowly, we're going to start to lift up. So maybe take your hands out of the feet, off of the feet, out from under the feet. That's words. And then inhale. Slowly roll up to stand, chin tucked to the chest, head heavy. Nice. Ooh, get a little movement if it needs. All right, let's grab the straps. We're just gonna do this alternative, I don't want to call it a bind, but just alternative shoulder opener. We're gonna bring that block behind the hips. Now the closer your hands are together, the more intense the sensation. So if you need a lot less, you bring your hands wide. You want more this time, you can bring your hands closer together. And remember that the back of the hand is facing back, palms face forward, so we can get into the front of the shoulder complex. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your heart. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward and down. Control your descent. Now, again, it may feel good to stay still. Or maybe you want to try straightening one leg at a time. That may feel really juicy, or that may feel really wrong. That may feel just way too much. Just notice what your body is positively responding to, and keep the breath. Nice, let's gently bring those straps down to the floor. Nice and steady. And we're going to step our right leg back and come into your 90-90 lunge. Grab a block and we'll lift up. All right, I need to use my notes here because I'm really so bad at this one direction. Okay, block forward. I can do it. We can do it. Glutes on. And then we're going to push away. So the block moves away. And then we're going to inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze together. And inhale, lower. Let's do that again. Exhale, push away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze together with those shoulder blades. Inhale, lower the shoulders. One more. Exhale, push away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the block back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower. Or maybe it was inhale. Nice. And then give it a shake, whatever it needs. Okay, we did it. I don't know why my brain just really doesn't like that movement. Bring your block behind your head. Open your elbows. Glutes are turned on. And we're going to twist this time. So inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. And notice if you're twisting more in your neck or even in the elbows, try and find your twist through that mid upper back. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. So we're just going to do a few of these here. Again, you don't have to force it to your end range. Just stay curious about how your body wants to move today. Gently moving your head back towards the block, just a little bit, nothing aggressive. Block is helping us keep the shoulders and the neck in one nice line. And then we'll meet facing the left side when you're ready, so facing to the left. And we're going to extend the arms with the block in the right hand, block in the forward hand. Bring your block to the floor, reach your left arm high. And let's go ahead and circle that arm 3 times one way. Move with your breath. And 3 times the other way. Remember, if you feel any cracklies, any crunchy movements in the shoulder or the neck, that's totally normal. Nice. We're going to reach that arm up high. And we're going to very gently either just stay here, hand on your hip. We're going to move forward and back. So you can try straightening up your forward leg if that feels good and if that's accessible. Remember, it doesn't have to be all the way straight. You can maintain a bend in the knee throughout. It's just finding movement that feels good. Ooh, and then we're gonna lower both hands to the floor. Let's step back and find our tabletop position. We're going to play with the shoulder girdle movement here. So if this is a bit confusing, remember that I'm confused most of the time too, so it's fine. But it's good to practice these things. So we're gonna try this out. We're going to push the floor away, feel the shoulder blades move apart. Now we're going to lift the shoulders up to your ears, just like we just did. We just did this. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, belly firm, and then lower the shoulders away from the ears. Let's try that again. Push away, shoulder blades move apart. Inhale, lift the shoulders high. Exhale, squeeze them together. Inhale, lower the shoulders away from ears. One more. Exhale, push. Inhale, we're going to lift. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Oof. And then come to any seat or any restful position. You may want to just come straight into a child's pose. I know that can be quite taxing on the shoulders. Any restful position for a few breaths here. Allow the shoulders to completely relax. Try and lengthen your exhale once again. Let's take that deep inhale in. Exhale, sigh it out. Gorgeous. And then we're going to come back into table, but we're going to set up for a puppy pose. So forget about table actually, we're just going to set up for puppy pose. So a few options. You can use your blocks here if you have them, or books of similar height, or you could just have your elbows straight on the floor. So I'll show you the first variation, which will be the most mild. You're going to keep your bum over your knees, just like we do for puppy, and then we're going to bring the elbows down and the palms together. Oh, I got a good little clap there. This will be the most mild variation. If you want a little bit more stretch, this can feel really good. You can come onto your blocks. So you can have your blocks at this height, which is going to be, again, less intense, or you could bring your blocks higher up, which I quite like this height personally, but I just really like that, a nice big old stretch here, but it's totally up to you. If you're using your blocks, make sure you're placing your elbows in the center of the block, because if you're on the corner of the block, it may flip up and smack you. Come into a variation that suits your body today. Doesn't have to be the variation that I'm in. Palms together, your thumbs are reaching back to the nape of the neck. You can also play with your pelvis here in its position. So you may want to tilt the pelvis forward. That may feel better. That's going to get into a different area of the body. Or you may want to tuck your tail just a little bit and draw your belly up and in, and that may really change the quality of what you're feeling. So you can play around a little bit. Maybe you need to be somewhere between the two. Steady your breath and fully relax your head and your neck. If at any point it's a bit too much, you want to come out, absolutely do so. Remember, we're not interested in pushing through pain here. And then slowly, let's start to come up. So to come up, you're just going to lift the belly, lift through the shoulders, lean forward, bring your hands forward, and then see if you can bring your hands to the floor. That transition can be really tricky with the blocks. And then we're going to sit into a child's pose, any child's pose. For me, it'll feel really good to bring my arms around by my hips. Maybe you're resting on the low back. And let's breathe into the belly and into the low back here. Bring your attention to your rib cage once again. Notice the movement of your ribs. Alright, on your next exhale, let's lift into our down dog. Hips lift up high. Bend your knees, lengthen your spine. Think about pushing yourself back here so your belly moves to your thighs. And remember, you can always play with the location of your hands. Your hands can be shoulder distance or wider. You could play with turning your fingers in or out, and just notice what feels the most supportive for your body. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the right leg forward and bring your left knee to your pillow or to the mat. Let's grab our blocks and let's lift on up. Let's bring the block behind the head, elbows wide. Those left glutes are fired up so we can get through the front of that hip. Inhale and exhale, twist to the right. Notice if your hips are really doing something wonky to twist you, find that movement through that upper and mid back. Inhale, lift through center. Exhale, twist. Trying to keep your right knee over your ankle. Inhale through center. Exhale to twist. Just take a few of these here on your own. Don't worry about what I'm up to. Just sense what's going on in your body, what your body needs today. Make sure that you've balanced out both sides, and then we'll meet twisting to the right hand side. Extend your arms with your block forward and bring your block and left hand to the floor. Right arm will reach up, and we're just going to take a few easy circles here with that right arm. Big, slow movements. And circles the other way. Keep breathing into your belly. Notice if that shoulder is heating up a bit. That's all good. Find stillness and either just hold here in a nice little twist, or maybe start to move forward and back. Let's just do that 3 times. And then once you've balanced it out, Let's go ahead and bring it forward, hands down. And we're going to step back into our down dog. We're going to step back, get rid of your prop, and then we're going to lower into child's pose. Any child's pose or any other restful position. Remember, if child's pose isn't a restful position for you, give it a miss. Find a shape, it just could be on your back, where you can breathe steadily. Nice, and on your next inhale, let's slowly start to lift up. Nice, we're gonna take hold of our blocks, and we're going to come into a supported back bend here with a few options. So let's make our way onto the back. Now I've got really soft block here, it's foam, so it's not going to be too uncomfortable, but if you're using something that is not going to be comfortable, you can always drape a blanket or pillow on top. So we're going to come down, and come into the supported bridge. So we're going to bring the feet hip distance and under your knees. Make sure the feet are parallel. Sometimes they like to create a V shape. You could try maybe brushing your heels here, just kind of figuring out where your feet are. As you exhale, let's lift the pelvis up. And we're going to take our block right underneath the sacrum. That's the tailbone, not the lumbar spine, but the very base of the spine, which is the tailbone or sacrum. So kind of the top of the glutes here. This should feel comfortable. This should feel supported. So you're right under your pelvis. If you feel any discomfort, you're probably not in the right shape, so just readjust until it feels appropriate. See how this feels. I like to have my hands on my belly. You could have your hands on the floor. You could have your hands overhead, get a little front body opening as well. It may feel nice to close your eyes and just focus on the sensation of the posture. And if you're really happy here, don't change anything, just hang out. If you want to play a little bit, you could try bringing your knees together. See how that feels, if that changes the quality, if you like it. Keep breathing. And soften down. Trust that your props will support you. And if you're really vibing, really happy, just stay as you are. If you want to play a little bit more in the shape, it may feel nice to bring your left knee in towards your chest. And you could try catching behind your left thigh here. Maybe lifting your foot up to the ceiling just a bit. We can play with pointing and flexing that foot, helping to massage the nerves that run across the back of the leg. And switching legs. And remember, you may also just feel better being still. Being still is the ultimate goal of our yoga asana practice, of our physical practice. It's not to do headstand or handstand. It is to find stillness both physically and mentally. And then let's all meet in our bridge. Let's lift the hips up so we can slowly remove the prop and lower all the way down. Very slowly bring your back to the mat. Rest here a moment, hands on the belly if that feels good. And just notice how your low back feels. your knees into your belly. Grab your legs, and as you exhale, lift your nose up to your knees. Lift your shoulders, squeeze as tight as you can. Maybe lift your arms to the ceiling and lower all the way to the floor. Let's set up for Shavasana, our final pose. And you may want to bring a pillow underneath your head here. Maybe put on a sweater or bring something to put over the eyes or a blanket. Find a position that is restful. And remember, the goal of yoga is stillness. And it's alright if even after that practice you're not feeling quite settled, you're not feeling quite still, that's alright. That's why we keep showing up on our mats. Allow the eyes and the mouth to close if possible. Soften through the shoulders. The arms are heavy. The hands relax. The muscles of the chest relax. The belly is soft. The legs are heavy. The feet are relaxed. Allow the muscles of the face to soften further. The jaw releases. The space between the eyebrows softens and expands. Take a moment to check in with your physical body now. Just notice how you're feeling compared to the start of class. Take a moment to check in with your emotional body. How are you feeling now compared to the start of class? And take a moment to check in with your mind. Notice if there's any differences, however subtle or small, between now and an hour ago. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly. Notice the movement of your ribs. Take a deep inhale in all the way down into the belly. Fill the body with breath. Open the mouth, let it out. Gently roll the head side to side. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Inhale, reach your arms high, stretch your fingers, point your toes. Exhale, roll to your right hand side. Bring your knees to your belly, chin to your chest. Inhale, lift up to a seat. Try and keep your eyes closed if possible. Inhale, bring your hands together. Exhale, bow your head. Press your thumbs between your eyebrows. Take one last moment of stillness here with your breath. Inhale, lift your head, open your eyes, and thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your night. Thank you.